Hello, everybody. Said here, coming to you by way of podcast. And I'm just want to discuss some things today. I'm not going to hold you too long. I'm trying to get built up here, and I'd like for you all to come to my channel and subscribe because we're going to have some good information in the future for you. A lot of it is health wise. I've done some changes to the way I eat, how I eat, when I eat, and things like this. And I've seen and I reap the benefits daily. Okay? First things first. First things first is this. Big Pharma. Big Pharma gives you lots of chemical medications, and I've seen people say, oh my goodness, I got to take my tablets, I got to take my blood pressure medication, I got to do all this. You don't need to do none of that. You don't need to do any of that. But you've been handed a dogma, a useless narrative that you have to do this. No, you don't. You don't have to do this. You have to start first and foremost by what you put in here. There's an old saying that goes like this: shit in, shit out. Whatever you put in here, that's what you'll get. If you put healthy stuff in here, then you'll be healthy. Not only will you be healthy, you'll feel extra energy as well. I call myself a recovering glutton. Okay? And for those of you who don't know what a glutton is a person that he or she does not eat to live. Instead, they live to eat. That is a glutton. They live to eat. I used to be a glutton. I mean, I could put away some food, really. And right after I put some food away, a few minutes later, about an hour maybe later, I'm thinking about, I can't wait till the next food comes. That wasn't good. And I had a lot. As a matter of fact, I'm going to share that with you. I had a lot of symptoms. My list of symptoms. Hang on a minute. As soon as I find them. Done. Hold it. Here we go. These symptoms I used to exhibit and I used to go through when I was just stuffing food in my face, just much like a drug addict takes drugs or an alcoholic drinks alcohol. I used to have these things. Headaches, excessive headaches. Sometimes the headaches would last 2, 3, 4 days sometimes. Excessive bleeding. I used to be a bleeder, really. Took a long time to stop me from bleeding. Now I stop within sometimes under 2 minutes. I stop bleeding now. Lots of cysts, little knots and things up under your skin. Shortness of breath. Withdrawal headaches, meaning if I'm between breakfast and lunch or lunch and dinner, if I didn't hurry up and get that next meal when I wanted it, my head would actually start aching because of that. That was just a withdrawal. I don't get that anymore. Because as you see, I have I didn't say, when I get up in the morning now, I have a cup of green tea or coffee, depending, right now it's green tea. And I don't eat until after 3 o'clock in the afternoon, between 3 and 6. Okay? So, few rashes I used to have, I don't have them anymore. Pain goes away much quicker than it used to. I'm much more regular before. I go to the bathroom much more, which what started me on my journey. I'll share that with you in a future video. Mucus is relatively clearer than before. It used to be, it's going to be a little green sometimes, but generally it's clear. No more numbness in fingers, which is good because that can be a sign of that you're diabetic. I fight off colds much faster. They don't stay with me very long. I heal very, very fast now, despite my age. And nasal congestion, I still get it lightly, but not heavy as I used to. And I can tell when I eat the wrong foods now, when I get a heavy nasal congestion, when the membranes inside my nose swell up and it's hard to breathe, and I know I've eaten the wrong things. No more dizzy spells. I actually used to get dizzy a little bit and lose my balance, but I don't do that anymore. I don't really get sleepy after a big meal anymore unless I'm just not doing anything. And I don't oversleep anymore. I wake up now before the alarm clock goes off. I still set the alarm clock because I don't want any mishaps. But I honestly think I don't need an alarm clock no more. And I could sleep through a tornado. I used to be able to sleep through a hurricane. So these are the things that stopped once I changed what I do. And what I do now is I practice intermittent fasting every day. That's where you have an 8 or more hour window where you can eat, and then after that you don't eat. I have generally 1 meal a day, sometimes two, but generally 1 meal a day. It's a doozy now. It's a big meal. It's a big meal, but it's once a day. And then I don't eat that big meal until that time the next day. So a lot of times I may be going 12 hours or more without food. And you see I'm still living. I still look good. I stopped listening to these narratives that they bamboozle with me with most of my life. A lot of my family are still doing the same things, and they feel bad, and their attitudes are bad. You can't feel good if you keep filling yourself up with processed food and whatnot. But a person has to come on that journey. A few years ago, you couldn't tell me that. So, yeah. The next thing is, I already said about the medication. If you put the right food in your body, you'll never need that medication. Trust me on that one. I took some medication. I had a little, what was it right here on my face? It was an overgrown bump, and it got really big. So I had to go to the emergency room and get it lanced. And they gave me some penicillin just for bacteria or whatever. But I was already fasting, so I mean, I'm doing good. Taking the penicillin just was an overkill. Okay, but I'll still respect penicillin and take that too, because anything to help fight off some bad bacteria, I'm okay with that. But you don't really need it. Not really. And so that's the only medication I've taken in about 10 years or more. Really, I mean, it's just like, you don't need medication. I've had teeth pulled, and the dentist recommended, which I went and got, prescription filled. It cost me about $12 for some painkillers that I didn't even need. I took one, maybe two. Generally, I did take one. I don't know if I took two or not. But after that, I didn't take any more. So it was actually a waste of money. In days gone by, I would have needed that and then some. And it just dawned on me that it was the food the whole time that was doing that. You eat all this bad food, and then you get sick, and then you have to go to the so-called medical professionals, and then they give you a bunch of pills that you don't need. But, you know, it's making their life, it's enriching their lives. So they need to do that. So you start here first. Change here, and the world around you will change as well. I mean, I always say, I wish somebody would have told me this years ago, but you wouldn't have been able to tell me this years ago. Because once somebody got their mind made up with the horse blinders on, once they got that mind made up to do whatever they're going to do it. Ain't nothing you can do about it. So I'm hoping I can reach some people here to help them. That would be nice. That would be really nice. The next thing, these corporations must go. These corporations must go. They are all so greedy and so corrupt, but they could not function if we did not spend our money with them. I'm guilty of it too. I love my Apple devices. You know? But we need to learn to give up some of this stuff. Because that's the control that we have. If we would give the stuff up, they would not be able to profit because they're only watching numbers anyway. They don't care about you as a customer. They're only watching the numbers. If you stop buying and if I stop buying, the numbers would go down, down, down for them. And then guess what? They would be forced to mark their prices down. It's not rocket science, people. It's not rocket science at all. If we stop buying, which is called boycotting, by the way, if we would boycott, prices would come down so fast, you wouldn't believe it. Another thing, when prices are high, okay, so is the crime rate. Prices and crime rate go hand in hand. When one goes up, the other goes up. When one comes down, the other comes down too. Yes. So we need to stick it to the corporations. They're so greedy and they make so much money off of us. It's not fair to us, all the money that they make. They ride around and I'm not against anybody getting theirs. Get yours, but don't get yours at the expense of us. That's what I'm against. Some people are so rich and they have so much money in the bank, they don't know what they have. They just keep getting more and keep getting more and keep getting more, which I'm not against that either. I'm trying to get as much as I can, but I'm not going to get mine at your expense. I'm not going to do that. I wouldn't even feel right if I did that. But there's so many grifters out here, so be careful. I have been scammed before, so be careful. There's so many grifters out here who promise you that you can make money if you just do this right here. No, you're not. You could if they weren't so greedy. But the problem is they're so greedy. So you're not going to make much money. It's how the society is fixed. It's kind of like a casino. You go into the casino thinking you're going to win. You might win. They might amp you up just a little bit, but the house always wins. The economy is the house. They always win. They don't have to win, though. Just like if you don't go into the casino, if people didn't go into the casinos, they wouldn't have business. People are the answer. We are the powerful ones. But the problem is, we don't acknowledge that at all. If we stop doing something and say, you know what, we're not going to do it. This is a long shot here, but I always use this as an interesting analogy. What if we all could talk to each other and could say, you know what? Let us all take the next week off. What do you think would happen? I'll tell you what would happen. The economy would crash. That's the power that we have. And we just don't understand it. That's the power that we have. If we say no and we don't follow up with any action, we've won. The problem is, can you live without the cushy, whatever it was that you're giving up? If you learn to do that, to learn to do that is to learn to boycott. Amish people do it all the time. They live by candlelight, no electricity. They live with candles. It's a hard life if you go from the way we're living to being an Amish person, but they're used to it. And they don't have the problems that we have. Why? Because they're living a different lifestyle. You have to live a different lifestyle. The definition of insanity is doing the same thing and expecting different results. Guaranteed to fail. If you want something different, you have to do different things. Think about that. So stick it to the big corporations. We all should do it. We all need to do it. Don't vote for Democrats either. Democrats care nothing about you except how to get you to make money for them. Right. So you think about that. Because that's what's happening today. Everything has gotten so high now, it's not even funny anymore, people. It's not even funny anymore. And it's our fault too, because we keep supporting the madness. We won't say no. I don't know if you all remember a couple of years back when those insurgents ran through the White House. I was watching that on TV and I thought, wow, look at this. Is this America? Somebody's actually taking a stand? I don't agree with what they did, but I agree that they pulled together and did it. It was a blatant show of power. Let me rephrase that. It was a blatant show that people are powerful if they pull together. I don't condone what they did, but while I was watching what they did, it reminded me of that. How powerful we actually are when we all pull together. Once upon a time, we used to put our pettiness aside and help each other out and pull together. And we had more things. But with the advent of technology, the government and the powers that be have used technology to separate us, divide and conquer. And it's worked. Has worked and still working. It has worked because we bought into it. And the word tradition, get it out of your language. Get it out of your vocabulary. Tradition. That's a word that was made up so somebody else who's probably dead and gone now could control your life. You need to do this right here. This is the tradition that we've been following. That's your problem. I broke the tradition of eating that was passed on to me, and I benefited from it. Okay? Kill the narrative. You should one day in your life evaluate your life and see the traditions and customs and things that I follow. Are they beneficial to me now? Are they helping me now? Are they serving me now? And if you can't answer yes to that question, you need to get rid of them. Try some new things for a change. Remember, the opposite of a definition of insanity is if you do different things, you will get different results. Trust me on that one. So just boycott. We need to start holding together. Hopefully Mr. Trump will come in and get some fire under us. And if he keeps his word and if we start holding together, we can actually take back the power. Maybe we can make America great again. Because it's certainly far from it now. So with that, I'm going to end this podcast and say it's been a pleasure. Again, I'm Said. I'd like you to visit my YouTube channel. My YouTube channel is Wise159 Ask Said. And I'm going to start setting up advice or whatever. You can go to my channel, get my email there. If you want to send me some answers, I will answer them on the air or on video. Kind of like a Dear Abby type thing, except my name is not Abby now. Say, ask said, and I'll answer to the best of my knowledge. If I don't have an answer, I'll tell you that too. I have no problem saying that I don't know. I don't know everything, but I do know a lot. So, thank you for this podcast. And I'd like to wish you all a nice evening. This is Said once again saying, take care, be mindful, peace out.